Hello, fellow truth agents. In the year 1969, something unfathomable happened. Man supposedly landed on the moon. But with a mountain of evidence against it, and with such a feat seemingly impossible, could it really have happened? That's what we're going to discuss here today.
Now, the first theory that I must bring up is, of course, the Stanley Kubrick theory that he directed the moon landing. Obviously, we all know that the technology at the time was not at the point where they could have landed on the moon, and so it must have been filmed on a soundstage in Area 51.
Of course. Because they had the technology at that time to film such a thing. That was just like, I could film it right now. And all of you, all of the fools out there who dare to watch this video, you'd be tricked. You'd be bamboozled.
Also, I think, personally, that the reason they stopped doing moon landings after 1972 was because they actually didn't know how to make it look real anymore. Not Steven Spielberg. No, Steven Spielberg is other computer.
Steven Spielberg, who? Am I right, guys? I just respect a different caliber.
Kubrick didn't want to direct the moon landings anymore, so they decided to instead wrap up all of our Apollo space program.
Yeah, exactly. Because only a mind as twisted as Stanley Kubrick could have directed such a feature. Now you may say some asinine things like, oh, it definitely couldn't have been done at the time because the technology to recreate all of these different minute details would have been like too ridiculous for the late 60s. But why would the government let you know what level of technology they're at right now, okay? I bet right now, at this moment in time, they are 70 years ahead of us.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Maybe I'd argue even more. I mean, on our last episode, we talked about the Hollow Earth, so that could also tie in terms of getting technology from the Hollow Earthers or other civilizations like Atlantis, of course.
Now, you mentioning Hollow Earth brings up something that a theory that I have heard of in the deep corners of the web, where the moon landings weren't actually treks to the moon, but were treks into the Hollow Earth.
Oh, I definitely could believe that, especially
under the guise of a moon landing.
If we're talking about the concave Earth,
yes,
then I think. Why do you think it's all black in the so-called sky?
It's
actually the
sky is blue, you idiots! I can literally look up and it would be blue. What are you talking about? Are you stupid?
No, in the moon landing.
In the moon, yeah, exactly. The only way you could get black is through if you were in a dark area like a hollow Earth.
That's what I mean.
See, it all.
No, I don't even believe that the actual sky is blue. I think the government makes it tinted blue with chemicals.
The chemtrails. The chemtrails cause the sky to be blue because they don't want to know. They don't want us to know the truth that the sky is actually yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. The yellow sky is the true nature of the sky, and
is it true that's why David Productions made the sky yellow?
Yes, exactly. In famous quote unquote manga and anime series JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, famously in the fourth part of its iteration, the sky was depicted as yellow. But we know that author Hirohiko Araki is actually a fellow truth agent who wants to spread the true message about the yellow sky. And this
if you're listening right now, we know you are listening.
We know you're here
right
with
now.
My homie.
We need to spread your truth.
Give me a shout out in your next in part 9.
Next chapter.
Give me a little shout out. So, we've already discussed how the colors of the background of the moon landing conflict. They conflict with what we know to be factual as the yellow sky. But
we also know that the moon is made of cheese, so it makes no sense to have gray rock.
As depicted in Wallace and Gromit.
Yes.
It's made of cheese. I think it's Wallace and Gromit is a fantastical, like, actual true documentary. That's the one. That's the one.
I think that the truth agents working behind the scenes at Aardman Animation wanted to tell us that we're right. We're on to something.
Exactly. Because if the moon is entirely comprised of cheese, that would give so much food to the entire population because it's just so dense, and the world wouldn't want that. If you control the food, you control everything, all right? So the government controls the supply and the demand, and that's why we don't go to the quote unquote moon anymore, because it's just a big ball of cheese.
Yeah. And they don't want the population knowing that we have this whole moon full of cheese that people can easily get food from, because they want people to starve.
Yeah, exactly. This, however, brings up an even more frightening question. If the moon is made of cheese, then where did all that milk come from?
The aliens, obviously.
Exactly. The space aliens. The giant space aliens. The government took all of their milk, and they combined it into one giant mass. All right, they combined it in one giant mass in I'd estimate the early 50s. They created the moon, and if you look throughout history, the moon is depicted as only a fictional object. It's not real before the 50s. It's all doctored and stuff like that.
Wow. Yeah.
And now they're hiding all the aliens that they took the milk from in Area 51. They're hiding them down there.
We know that Area 51 connects into an elaborate underground real Area 51. Most people that work there probably don't even know what really goes on.
Yeah, exactly. Area 51 is a cover-up for the true Area 51 that lies underneath. And then there's actually an even truer Area 51 underneath that one. There are just so many layers here. There's so many layers that the populace is not seeing, all right?
Yeah.
Now, let's discuss something interesting about the moon landing footage that I was thinking about. Do we ever actually see the astronauts in the footage, like their actual faces? How do we know? No.
It's because they're all robots controlled by Stanley Kubrick.
Exactly. They're advanced animatronics, like from Five Nights at Freddy's, except real.
Yes.
Of course, this connects to Five Nights at Freddy's being real, but that's a different topic entirely. Okay.
Fellow truther Scott Cawthon again wanted to tell us that we were on to something by putting animatronics into his video.
We see this pattern here, alright? The people know the truth subconsciously, but they just deny it. They deny it again and again, no matter how obvious the answers here. And this is a big problem, alright? All of these people in 1969 watched on their television sets. They were fed this stream of lies, this stream of disinformation. We, on the other hand, only speak facts.
Yeah, obviously. And only a few brave souls like Rocky and Scott Cawthon are brave enough to tell the truth.
Yeah, exactly. And they're constantly being hunted by the CIA. We should know this. They're constantly.
Where do you think that the lunar probes that we send go to? Do you think those are just sent and loop back around on Earth into the ocean? And all the photos are Photoshop?
Yeah, of course. Do you know how easy it is to doctor a space image?
Exactly.
You just go onto YouTube and type space footage, and you get that. It's so easy. The government.
I'm just saying, there's a reason that the Soviets never got to the moon before us, and it's because they didn't have Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, exactly. The Soviets were in the midst of directing their own moon landing feature, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it without Kubrick.
Exactly. I mean, by all scientific measures, they should have got to the moon before us. They were in space first. They did many things before us, so it seems kind of suspicious.
Seems kind of odd
that they wouldn't get there before us.
Now, do you believe that like other planets are real, like Mars and such, or is it all just a
real in what terms? Like, as far as I think the government has actually constructed the planets out of metal, and they have workers in space, and they're actually different bases with teleporters that people have space to do. But real in terms of they always existed there, and there's a so-called solar system. No way.
Yeah, I say, in the state we know them right now, they're not real. But there is something up there. There's something there, and the truth of what that is being altered by big space, as I like to call it. Big space doesn't want you to know that the planets are all not actually really big and really far away. They're actually just like 50 feet off the ground, and they're right there. You could like climb up there and get them, but no one tries because no one like believes that they are actually there. They believe they're super far away, but that's stupid. How could something be so far away and like be that big? That's just not that's not realistic. Have you ever seen something that big? No, I haven't.
Like you're telling me Jupiter is completely made of gas, and it somehow like doesn't just collapse and dissipate? Like,
if Jupiter was made of gas, then why wouldn't it be see-through? Like, I can't see all the air in front of me. All right, it defies common logic.
So obviously looks like a space station. It's like,
yes.
Oh my God, sheeple, come on.
Open your third eye here. All right. It starts with the moon landing, but that's just the crack. That's just like the peephole you see into the larger truth. You find this, and then you find out all of space itself is a lie. There's not that much space. What are you foolish? What? We would have been able to go there by now. It's just not there. Yes, exactly.
Do you think we've ever even gone into space? Like, do you think a mission that has been showed to the public has been an actual real space mission? Or do you think those are all the fake ones and the real space missions are done secretly?
I think they're all fake. I think the highest anyone has ever been is probably like 150 feet in the air. Because there's just not that much sky. I'd estimate there to be a total of like maybe 300 feet of sky above us.
Because we all know if you went that high, you would just crash into the sky.
Yeah, you'd hit it. You'd hit the sky.
Yeah.
That's why whenever you go in a plane or anything like that, we've talked about this last time, I believe, the projections around the plane.
Yes, you're just in a motion simulator. And stuff like rides like Star Tours are supposed to condition you like, oh, wouldn't it be wacky if you were in some kind of simulator, but really it's every time you go on a plane,
they intentionally make current simulators like way more shoddy than they actually can be to make us think that it's not possible.
Exactly.
Same with elevators too. You can't compress that much space into one tall thing. Once you go into like an elevator or something, you don't go up that far, really. There's only like 3 floors in the Empire State Building. The rest is just
it just loops. It's just teleporters.
It just loops
on top of teleporters.
Yeah, that's the big one. Teleporters are absolutely real. We've had photo evidence of such, and so they could, if the moon was worth going to, they would have just instantly gone there. But it wasn't. They had to trick the populace into thinking that it's so hard to go to the moon, and so they constructed this elaborate, basically a movie about how they went to the moon.
And also, I find it interesting that in the 1980s and 90s, when they were trying to get this so-called footage of the moon landings to rescan them, to make other documentaries and stuff,
of course,
that footage was already filmed over by other stuff in NASA. Now, if it really was such a important event for the United States, you think they would have kept it, safe and not be able to get ridden over.
And yet they didn't. Wow. It's just so obvious. It's just they make it too easy for us. All right, we need a harder challenge here. Come on.
Yeah.
Now
this one is like baby's first conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Now, do you think the cheese moon is hollow, or is it completely full of cheese?
I think with the amount of milking they do of the space cows and aliens and stuff, I think it's full. I don't think it's hollow.
I think it's mostly full, but I think at the center is where they store the computer that creates all of reality, that like has the matrix inside it. That like it's the simulation. It's in the moon and it's constantly sending it. It's completely sealed inside of the cheese. And so,
do you think there's multiple types of cheese?
I mean, they have to. They're collecting all the aliens and they're hiding them away from us. So there has to be all different types of alien milk there, right? Right, come on.
Yeah.
So it's a blend. It's a blend. And that's of course that makes sense. The reason why the moon always faces one direction towards us is because it has to face that way to like project the signal like a satellite dish. It has to face towards us at all times to project the data from the simulation.
Do you think that this will ever get unveiled to the public, or do you think the public will not be able to handle this?
I think that there are so many moving parts and components to Cheese Moon supercomputer theory that the people just wouldn't be able to understand it. Their whole fabric of reality would just collapse right there and then. It would just fall apart. Their minds would melt. Do you know how much training, fellow truth agents, that we have to go through to actually understand these things? The average person, I'm sorry to tell you this, but we are endangering you right now. And if your mind is not willing to accept truth, you could just die right here and now.
Exactly.
You would just melt. Your mind would disintegrate with all this knowledge.
Like what happens in Raiders of the Lost Ark? That's because the Ark of the Covenant was like uber truth, and that's where we wrap back around to Steven Spielberg.
Exactly.
Is that he knew the truth, so he wanted to warn people and say like, hey, if you learn the truth, this is what's gonna happen to you, and showed the guy's face.
And at the end of Raiders, we see the government take hold of the lost Ark, which is exactly what they have in the Cheese Moon supercomputer. What do you think powers all that? It's the power of God sealed in the remaining fragments of the Ten Commandments in the Ark of the Covenant inside the supercomputer, which is what is able to power it.
Exactly. 100%. I hope we haven't killed too many people.
I know.
With the truth bombs we're throwing down right now.
Yellow Sky Cheese Ark of the Covenant supercomputer moon theory, I know is like it's too much for some people, but
and I find it interesting how, cheese is yellow, the sky is yellow. You know what else is yellow? The many depictions of the Eye of Providence.
Exactly.
This is just the Illuminati trying to be even more obvious. They're just joking with people at this point. They want everyone to know. Because
once everyone finds out, then they've basically won. Because even if everyone knows, we're powerless against these forces. We are absolutely powerless. That's why we have to gradually tell the people over time the truth. That's why you guys, the viewers, you have to share. You have to share this information to everybody. Because then you'll be able we'll be able to plan against the Illuminati's dastardly works against our society as we know it.
So where do you think the alleged moon rocks come from? Do you think they're all 3D printed and fabricated, or do you think they're from some other world?
They're playing us for fools, okay, Grant? They're just rocks. How can you tell the difference between a rock and a moon rock?
True.
There isn't.
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
They just walked over to some pond and they plucked up a pebble.
You saying that, even with my fortified mind, my half of my face started.
I'm sorry. No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Quick, use your amethyst crystals to heal your chakras. Okay.
I've aligned my chakras.
Okay. Thank God. We were almost screwed there.
You have to get a new co-host.
I'd have to get a new. And no, I don't think anyone on the planet besides us two knows just as much information.
Magnitude.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like we're almost at a breakthrough, though. I feel like we're so close to finding the ultimate truth about this world.
And that's why we know how like the housing market is corrupt and stuff. That's why we live on the street in a cardboard box.
Exactly.
Spreading our theories.
Exactly. We're just sitting out. I got my.
We're recording this under a bridge right now, actually.
Yeah. That's why. Don't mind the background. The background noise. That's just a couple of homeless people on crack killing each other for sport. I'm sorry about that. So.
Hey, I got $5 on him, so I kind of need him to win.
I get $5. You have $5 whole. Grant, what did I say about American consumerism corrupting you? All right, you have to be careful.
Yeah, you're right. I can't.
We only use cryptocurrency now. That's the real next freedom from government is cryptocurrency and Bitcoin.
That's why we trust all those truthers on YouTube that are spreading the new age cryptocurrency. The only thing not controlled by the government.
I have my money in moon cheese NFTs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah. That's definitely smart.
That's smart. The government doesn't have any control over NFTs or the internet. That's just not possible. It's too big. There's too much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Matrix computer and the moon, it's like separate from that.
Yeah, everyone, like most people on the internet, everyone knows they're fake. They're just bots. They're just government created bots
everyone says, there's allegedly 3 billion million trillion people on Earth, right? But I've only ever seen maybe 100,000 tops.
I think there is 150,000 people on the planet Earth. That's what I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. And they're just looping the same people.
There's only maybe 3 countries, maybe, if I had to estimate.
I agree.
Yeah, Russia, United States, maybe Canada. Cheese Moon as a country has I wouldn't count it as a country. I think it's more of a faction.
Yes.
So there's 3 countries in a faction. Yeah, that's what I'd define it as. The Cheese Moon people, I mean, they're just slaves up on the dark side of the Cheese Moon. They're slaving away, adding more and more cheese to the moon because that moon's been growing ever since the 50s. If you notice, it gets bigger and bigger.
If you measure the moon, it's bigger. And they keep trying to convince us with ultra 4K photos of the alleged moon when all it is just a prop model in a photo studio.
I'm tired of people saying that 4K is a thing. Look, you can only get 1K max, I bet.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you even count to 4,000? No. What do you
believe?
What are you,
can you
genius?
Believe that people believe that telescopes aren't TVs? All it is a little screen.
I can see the grain in it.
You want to see. Yeah. You could totally tell if you look. You could see the CRT dots.
Yeah, exactly.
People just conveniently ignore it.
Ignore that. All right. Well, I think we've killed enough people with our knowledge.
I think so too. This is kind of the limit for the day.
Yeah, this is the limit. We'll keep in touch with you guys next time. Truth agents, make sure you go out there and spread the word that we've been saying throughout this whole thing. And see us next time. Give us some
over and out, truth agents.
Over and out.